Cowboys Nation. How the hell y'all feeling right now?
Yo, this is Neville Gallimore from the Dallas Cowboys, and I want to give a major shout out to Mike Tag. Keep bringing the hype to the Cowboys Nation. We love and appreciate it. Now, can you dig it?
What is up, Cowboys Nation? Let me be the last to wish you a happy new year. And hopefully you guys got to be feeling pretty good. Got to be feeling pretty good with the way things turned out. We got a little New Year's Eve, present. And then obviously we had some stuff happen at AT&T. Your boy was there, but going to get into it. But first of all, happy new year, Greg. How are you doing today? You feeling good?
Happy New Year, Mike. I'm doing fine. The new year came in without any problems. Fireworks went off. We looked at them from the window, had a good time.
And it was just even better because Dallas gets to win on Saturday. Your boy was there, had a great time. We're going to get into that game for a bit. But then on Sunday, we all called it. We all said that the collapse was happening in Philly. And lo and behold, boy, did they were up good and blow a big lead to Arizona. And now the destiny is in our hands.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. And can't wait, boy. As long as we go in that game and don't take it for granted, it's ours.
Yeah. Got to win the game. Got to win the game. You can't lay down. We can't let anything bad happen because that the onslaught of what would happen to us on social media would be terrible. So the Cowboys better show up to play and leave no doubt. And I said in that game, Cowboys jump on them early. I think Washington will kind of, I don't want to say quit, but I think they'll kind of pack it in. So the key is for Cowboys to get off to a fast start.
Yeah, they got to get off on a fast start. And now that we know that game right there determines the division for us, I know they're going to be hyped. They're going to be hyped. And we're playing it. Well, we're playing in Washington, but they're going to be hyped. I just don't think they need to take Washington for granted. Go out there and seal the deal early. And then Washington hopefully get to a point where say, like, look, we're not going to get hurt. We're going to kind of lay down. We got some draft picks to do, and this season's over. Let's not make a big issue about it.
No doubt about it. So let's we're going to get into Lyall, but the hot topic today is Dalvin Cook got released or whatever it is from the Jets. I've been working, so I know all he's going to be gone. So there may be an opportunity for the Cowboys to pick him up. And I don't know about you, and definitely in the chat, let us know your opinion. But I've said it for probably since the beginning of the season. The running game is my concern. The running game to me is going to be the Achilles heel. If Dallas can't get to the promised land, the running game is going to be probably the big reason why. And we're going to get into the Lions game because I have my own opinions on the ending. But I mean, what's your thoughts of the running game? B, you got Dalvin Cook, and I know people are saying, "Oh, he's washed up, he's this and that." But I mean, let's not forget he didn't really get many opportunities with the Jets. I think he carried the ball 60 times or something like that. The year before, he had close to 1,200 yards, 4.4 yards a carry. The year before that, he had 1,200 yards, 4.7 yards a carry. The year before that, he had 1,500 yards and over 5 yards a carry. So he's been productive. To me, it's low risk, high reward. I mean, what's your take, Greg, and you guys in the chat?
Same thing, exactly. And I was kind of shocked when Minnesota let him go. And then when the Jets got him, I said, oh, that's the extra plug they needed in the running game, especially when Aaron Rodgers was supposed to be the man there. I was like, that's all they needed. And then when I heard he was let go, I'm thinking, whoa, this must have something to do with some salary cap money, or they're looking at going out and getting another running back. Dalvin Cook is far from washed up. From washed up. And for us, it would be perfect. But then again, What's perfect for us as fans, organization may not see that. And I would
No,
be great
and
if they're going to
they
get him.
typically don't make these kind of moves, and things have to happen. Someone's got to, we're near the bottom of the list, but I don't think a non-playoff team is going to pick him up. So then you look at the playoff teams and who needs a running back, who doesn't. To me, there's a high probability he would clear waivers. He really didn't do much this year, but I just think it's going to be interesting to see how it works out. And if the opportunity's got to be there, right? He's got to want to be in Dallas. He's got to be cleared waivers. He's got all the stuff that goes through it. I think if the opportunity is there, I mean, first of all, most important thing is, what do you think of the running game right now? Let's say we don't have him. How confident are you in this running game going into the playoffs?
Well, it's just like I've been all season. I like Pollard, but Pollard is trying to play two roles. We need that beast. We need somebody else back there. The running game hasn't won games for us this season, whereas in the past, the running game has set up the wins for us, and that is a huge concern for me. To be frankly, I'm kind of surprised we made it this far without a bona fide running game back there, but it's worked out so far. In the playoffs, you need it. You have to have it, and I'm really concerned, and I really wish if there's an opportunity to go grab Dalvin, we need to, because I guarantee you these other playoff teams, when they heard that, they start getting on the phone with his agent right away. I guarantee you.
If they're in line to get him, I mean, they're gonna, you got to go down the list. Dallas is farther down the list, so I mean, things again, there's things that got to happen. There's a lot of teams that are ahead of them that would get an opportunity to claim them, but the thing with the running game, it's just. I'm old school. So I just, the run, gets the pass go, it kind of gets the whole flow of the game. But more importantly, at the end of the game is when you need that running game.
Right.
And I've seen it happen in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it happen with Miami. I've seen it happen in games before where we just, you want an 8-minute drive. You want to set, you want this, we just can't seem to get it. And, when I saw Pollard get kind of taken down from a DB on that, and that's just a bad angle of him in Miami, it's like something just don't seem right, because he just doesn't seem like the guy. But like I said, he's he's always thrived in that second running back role. And I think we've kind of took that, square peg in a round hole. And I think we've kind of done him a disservice for what he does best.
Yeah. And, Pollard, he plays a great game for his role, but his role was increased even better when you had maybe somebody like Zeke back there, because now you got the defense focusing on two running backs, mainly Zeke, the power running back. And then all of a sudden, here comes Pollard. Now that Pollard has to do everything, who else do they need to focus on? Dowdle is trying his best, but he's not a juke and jab like Zeke was. He's not a juke and jab like Dalvin Cook. And if we don't do anything about the running game, or at least try to do something, get somebody off the practice squad, I don't know what, in his playoffs, believe me, it's going to make a difference. The running game sets you up for everything else. And if we're one-dimensional, it's going to hurt us unless we get exotic and start doing some things that nobody's seen.
Yeah, it's gonna catch up to them. And the other thing kind of go hand in hand. They brought Lyall Collins, in for a look, and I guess they signed him to the practice squad. I mean, it's depth, and it's one of these things where I applaud them doing something, because what do you have to lose? It's low risk, high reward. We've had some injuries on the offensive line. Obviously, Tyler Smith. They feel he's going to be all right to play, but maybe he's not. Maybe the injury could get worse. I mean, we don't have a lot of experience, back there. So again, I think it ain't gonna make the difference in us winning the Super Bowl. But I like the move for depth purposes and just kind of an emergency lineman.
Well, when I heard it today, I was like, but good timing. Good timing, because our linemen are hurting. They are hurting, and they're trying their damnedest to play the entire season in pain, because they know we got to get through it, and it's not that deep. So bringing him back, to put him in there to give us a little backup is perfect. And then again, you got to look at it this way: no matter where his career is or if it's starting to go down on the downtrend, the motivation factor of him coming back to Dallas, the motivation factor of going to another venue again, this time returning home, brings a little bit more out of him than the complacency. So he will step up to the challenge if we need him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, I mean, that's some good stuff going on with the Cowboys. Now we're going to look back a little bit. We're going to look back at this game Saturday. And I always say is, I was there, great time with Cowboys Nation. Ain't nothing better. I always say is the game is kind of like icing on the cake. When I go there and you meet so many great people, and it's just such a fun atmosphere, the camaraderie, and there's just nothing better. There's really nothing better. But the game, too close for comfort. I don't think it needed to be. I definitely want to, Greg, I want to get your opinion, because it is always different when you're there than when you're watching on TV. I don't have the commentators, I don't have the replay, I don't have all the other stuff that you have your eyes on. But it looked like, Dallas was in control. And I know there was conversation of Pollard, had that one run with the tripping. So you had some penalties. But I'll say Pollard, the running game was non-existent. They had one run, which made up half, and we've averaged 0. So it's still a thing of the running game. And I look back near the end of that game, and we'll get into the plays and the controversy and bad clock management and all the other stuff. But I think all of that ties in hands. We can't run the ball. Yeah. So I don't know. That's just my opinion. I could be way off, but I think it all goes in hand. But, I mean, what was your thoughts of the game, how it started, and kind of the flow of the game initially?
Well, when they came out, they were excited. Now, I knew it was going to be a close game because the Detroit Lions. I didn't expect us to run away with them. I did expect us to have a little bit more of a margin on the winning. But Detroit came in hungry because Detroit tried to get that. They want to leave the door open for that number 1 seed. And Detroit is no joke. Detroit is no joke. So I knew it was going to be a good game, but I was glad we were playing it at home. And when it started, I said, okay, we got control of this, especially when Dak got away from that safety and made that bomb to Lamb. And then all the other plays were coming together. I said, we got this. Because when they went down first and scored 3, I said, okay, they got 3. Well, it's been games before when we let somebody score 3 on us. They didn't get a touchdown. Then we come down, and I'm like, we back there in the safety. And then he comes out of safety, throws a bomb, touchdown. And everybody, you can see the swag. I said, we got this. But as the game started prevailing, I started getting a little bit nervous because I'm thinking this can't be the one game we lose at home when this is the one game we need to give us that last opportunity. Yeah.
No, absolutely. It was, the energy in the crowd. Obviously, Jimmy Johnson, going to Ring of Honor. I'm telling you, I've been to a few of them. The one that sticks in my head the most was obviously the triplets. I was at that one. But the energy in the crowd with Jimmy Johnson going, it just felt like it was a playoff atmosphere anyway with the Lions, but it was amped up even more. It was a who's who, there. And I'm sure you guys saw it more on TV than what I saw. But everywhere around town, it was like 90s Cowboys around, and you had all the other stuff going. So it just had that atmosphere and it had that vibe going. So everything was pointing in the Cowboys' direction to win, but to your point is the Lions, they're going to put up a fight, and there was just some great plays in there, and really the one guy that hopefully, if I can find it, get this thing right, is, let's see, I always got to see, I got to label these better, but CeeDee, I mean, you talked about the 92-yard, touchdown. He had a record-setting night, broke the team record in receptions, broke the team record in yards. He was just unstoppable, and it made me think, why didn't they throw the ball to him like 30 times? Right. He was on another level.
Yeah, CeeDee had a great game. CeeDee represented the 88 club very well that night, and you could feel it and see it in the air and hear it in the atmosphere that this was going to be a dynamic night when CeeDee, because he wasn't dropping the passes. And Dak wasn't overthrowing him or underthrowing him, and Dak didn't look desperate. CeeDee didn't look desperate. He looked comfortable. He had some good runs. I said, man, this is going to be a good night. But it was always lurking in the back of your head, all this pomp and circumstance for Jimmy Johnson. And, could this be the one game that we lose with all this pomp and circumstance?
Oh, that'd be horrible. It would have been heartbreaking.
It would have, man. But, it was a great game. I expected that from the Lions. And whether we played them close or not, our defense did their job because we kept them to 20 points. We kept them to 20 points.
Yeah.
That is great against a team like the Lions,
Yeah.
who are
Oh,
every one of them are on cylinders. They're on the same cylinders. They are focused, and they came in to do some damage. And fortunately, we got out with the win.
yeah. No, absolutely. But I say the defense stepped up. I mean, Tank was, just from the stands and what I'm seeing, Tank looked like he was just on another level. I mean, he was all over the place. Micah, obviously, he does what he does. I thought we did good against the running game. Maybe you disagree. I know they had one big run. It was called back for the holding. But I thought the Cowboys handled their run game. Our run defense definitely continued to look better. And I don't know your opinion on our run defense. I saw this, someone had tweeted it, we can't run and we can't stop the run. We've stopped the run. We're kind of middle of the road, and our yards per carry, which is something I always look at, is like 13th in the NFL. And a lot of people look to the Ravens, and Ravens have this, and they have a phenomenal defense. There's no doubt about it, but they're giving up 4.5 yards a carry. So I'm saying our run defense, I think in spurts, if we don't stay within our lanes and don't stay disciplined, I think we get exposed pretty bad because we're undersized. Yeah. But I don't know if we're like, I don't know if it's a huge concern going in the playoffs. So what's your thoughts on the run defense?
I do think it's a big concern because we can't stop the run. Now, we had a better game because you got to remember, these athletes were at home. They knew how important this game was. They were motivated. They were on fire, far beyond anybody else in that situation. So what came out of them for that game against the Lions was one of their best games. Mm-hmm. Not every game you're going to be playing your best. They put it all on the field for this game, and we did better in the run game than we usually do. But stopping the run game is an issue for us, and that's something when it comes draft time, when it comes trade time, we need to be looking at what it's going to take for us to stop the run better and what it's going to take for us to be able to run better. Because the running game, as we all know, sets up everything. Everybody plays us. They do exactly what the X's and O's say. Run until you can't pass. And they're successful. Buffalo did it and ran over us. And it got to a point where it seemed like everybody didn't want to tackle. So, and I think a lot of it's because our defensive linemen and linebackers, they're focused so much on wanting to get to the quarterback so fast. But when you got a quarterback that gets the ball out quick or hands it to somebody that can juke like a Dalvin Cook, one quick move inside where you think you got the quarterback, running back's gone. Yeah. And then the linebackers, they're spread out trying to catch somebody on the end, and you can't stop them. So I am concerned. I'm concerned. Yeah. If there's two things I'm concerned about in the playoffs, our run game and our ability to stop the run. And if we step up,
that's fair.
Yeah, if we step up to stop the run like we did with the Lions, then I think we'll be okay.
Now, do you feel that we're better at home stopping the run than we are on the road? Yeah. Do you think that's part of our road woes is just the ability to, for some reason, we're not the same team on the road as we are at home?
Yeah, I think it's a player attitude because when they're at home, they feel safe, they're comfortable. You got your own crowd, 70-degree temperature. I mean, you're in Wonderland and when you're playing in Arlington, AT&T. And they're at home, they're comfortable, they feel good, they come out dapping and swagging. When they go to another environment, they don't have all of that. And it's something, I don't know if it's because our players are young, I don't know if it's the psyche that when they go somewhere else, all of a sudden, they're not as motivated as they are when they're at home. But to win all these games at home, and then to go out on the road after winning good games at home, then go out on the road and play the way we played, there's something about their psyche and motivation that's just not kicking in. And they need to have that confidence no matter where they go.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it's going to lead me to where I want to go, and definitely going to want you guys in the chat to weigh in because it's been a hot topic. But one of the things I think ties in, and this is a question by my man Cuts by Jones, if you guys are needing any custom cuts, this is the man to do it. He does beautiful work. He had a Des Bryant cut. We brought it to the tailgate, and he gave one to Des Bryant. Des Bryant signed one for Fred. Absolutely beautiful. Des loved it. It ended up in one of his videos that recap the great day. But anyway, if you guys need any custom cuts, Greg, you're going to need a custom cut in that cave. You're going to need to get something. So definitely Cuts by Jones is the man. But clock management. And I know there was, and I was shaking my head too. I'm at the game and I'm like, why did we throw that bomb, the fade or whatever it was over to Cooks? I mean, why did we do that? Oh, my God. But I think one thing that ties into it sometimes is the lack of confidence in the running game. Now, we had the run. We had a phantom tripping call, which ended up pushing us back to what, 1st and 25. That kind of puts you in a weird spot because, all right, you want to run, and then give them the ball back. They got no timeouts. They got a minute to go. They went right down the field on us. Would that have been good or bad? Yeah, maybe if you think that way. But I don't mind the attacking, but I didn't like the throw. I would have liked safe passes like they did. They did a couple safe passes, but that deep one I could do without. Now, Dak came out and said that was on him. I don't know if he's taking one for the team. I'm not sure how that, how that's working. But when it comes to clock management, again, when you're at the game, it's kind of hard. You don't really, get the full breadth of it. But I mean, is that a concern for you, the clock management with this team and the coaching staff?
Yeah, I would rank that maybe in my top 4 concerns. It'd be number 4. Number 3 would be penalties. We need to work on those penalties a lot. We're the most penalized team, and even in this game, the penalties start flaring up again. Now, clock management is on McCarthy. That's my 100% on McCarthy. That I think the pass you're talking about was almost at the end of the game where Dak threw that bomb and stopped the clock. Yeah, that was. I don't know what Dak was thinking about then. I don't know if a fly hit him all of a sudden he just started throwing the ball. That was crazy to do that because that stopped the clock and that gave him a lot of time. But clock management is on McCarthy, and McCarthy has a tendency over the years when it comes to clock management of being consistent with mediocre clock management, and that's something that he's got to work on. I don't care who talks to him about it, tells him about it. That is something McCarthy has to be aware of, clock management. But what Dak can control when we start getting down in the last few minutes, what Dak can control himself, being smart enough to know we want to run this clock out. Maybe instead of throwing that ball like he did, try to run it, or throw a safe pass like you said and hit somebody where they stay in bounds. And next thing you know, the clock starts to run down. But that is clock management. It's number 4 on my list of concerns, but strictly with McCarthy.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's fair. I think some of it is the situation that they're in. And I know it's always hindsight's 2020. They make the play, we're all like jump on them. And that play was terrible. I got to think that's more on the quarterback. I mean, he's the one with the ball. He can make the decision of where he's throwing it. And I think he saw Cooks had a shot. I think they were at 0 coverage. So I think he felt pretty good that if he put it on point, get it. It wasn't. It easily could have been intercepted. I was on that side of the field and it was right in my area. Easily could have been intercepted. That would have been worst case scenario. And I just think you can't take that risk in that situation. So now we get to the controversial ending. Now, I love this. And I always say when things happen to Dallas, it's good for business. So I posted a video on my Facebook page, and it was just Dak, with that 92-yard touchdown, whatever. It's now over 400,000 views. And all it is people bitching and moaning, saying the Cowboys and the refs and they never want to bring up the tripping play. Had the tripping play been called on the right person, game over. It doesn't really matter. This would be a moot point. But it's as the day goes on, you start to get more and more of the information. You start to see what the Lions were trying to do, being a little deceptive, and it ended up costing them. I'm telling you, I was at the game. I heard it clear as day. Number 70 is an eligible player, right? Eligible receiver, whatever. You heard the referee say it. They announced it clear as can be. Never said 68. The 68 went up to the ref, and then 70 went up and kind of, made the motion that you're supposed to, or made some hand gesture that he made earlier. So they were trying to be deceptive. And I tell people, the guy wasn't covered because they didn't worry about him because he wasn't called as an eligible receiver. So you don't know how the play would have worked out, but it's always something, and it's always a reason that the haters, it gives them a little, kickback. But watching it on TV and really in the chat, I mean, what was your initial thoughts on the whole play itself?
Well, when I saw it evolve and he hit him, that's when I just sank. I said, oh, man, 23 seconds left in the game, and they got a touch. I mean, they got the 2-point conversion. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, It remind me, I know you can appreciate this. It remind me of the Ohio State-Miami game.
Oh, don't
All
bring
of a
back
sudden,
memories.
seemed like the guy went and ate dinner, then came back and threw a flag. And then when he threw the flag, I said, man, it can't be on them. When it was on them, he was ineligible. I said, oh, yeah. But see what? The haters are always going to grab something, Mike. You know that. It doesn't.
Yeah.
If we win, lose, tie, they're going to always grab something. They need something to make them feel better. But the best thing about that whole series of plays nobody talks about is the Lions still had 2 more plays.
They did.
The Lions they were on the goal line and we stopped them. They were on the goal line and we stopped them. And because we played them on the goal line the way we did, that's on the Lions. That's on the Lions. And the referees are human. How many times have we seen them make bad calls against the Cowboys? And Cowboys fans say, oh, they cheated against us. They should have called it. And the haters don't care. They don't care. Oh, no, it was fair. But as soon as there's a controversial call and it seems like it aids the Cowboys, then it's a big issue. The controversial call in New Orleans, when the dude ran into the wide receiver, knocked him out of bounds before the ball came. 3 or 4 referees standing right there looking like this, and nobody called it. But the haters would have you know, so the haters would have you to believe something else. So as far as that game is concerned, I saw a lot of Facebook stuff and TikTok stuff where people were talking about, yeah, you had to have the ref to cheat. And I'm sitting there smiling like, I keep going.
Well, and the one other, so they had another top. And I know, like, Dan Campbell, I think he got too emotional with it because I'm thinking to myself that they have an opportunity to secure the 2nd seed. I mean, it's like you have you won the division, but you got a lot to play for. It's not like, this is a gimme game. Hey, well, we're going to show them how, we're not going to back down. We'll go for 2. So he had another opportunity. Now they move it back. You're right. They had a 5-yard penalty. They move it back. They go for it again instead of kicking the extra point to take it overtime. And then we screw up. And this is something that was in the chat, which is one of my big concerns is undisciplined play and penalties. And Micah Parsons, I believe it was Micah Parsons, wrong, lined up off sides. We stop them. So now they get the 5-yard. Now we're going back again. And they do it.
And that scared me, man. When I saw, and listen, I was sitting there and I was thinking, everybody hold your course. And then he jumped into the neutral zone. I said, oh, man, whether we stop this or not, they're getting another play and it's going to be 5 yards up. And I'm just sitting there saying, here we go again with those penalties, man. No discipline at all. Come on, Michael. But when we stopped them, I'm sitting there saying, Dan Campbell, you could have played for the overtime, but you didn't want to do that. You wanted to play to win the game. I don't blame you, but I'm glad you did. And I'm glad that there was some controversy. A win is a win. Referees, officials are human. We won the game. That's all that counts. We're the number 2 seed. And boy, if we beat Washington, all the Philly fans got something.
Got to get that done. I want to give a shout out to my man Frank. He flew in. I've probably said this story before. He flew in from Germany for this game to see Jimmy Johnson. He messaged me like, "Hey, Mike," he goes, I met him at the Seattle game for the first time. Awesome guy. And he's like, I gotta go. I gotta be there. He goes, man, I gotta see if I can talk my wife into it. I said, well, try and talk her into it, man. Go do it. And sure enough, he did. They went to the game, met his wife and son. Excellent. Just great people. And that's what I say. I'm not a fan of social media, but what I love about social media, it gets me the opportunity to meet people like Frank, people like yourself, Greg. I would have never met you without social media, and Fred and Kelly and just the whole Mark. I'm a Doug. I'm going to leave people out. Cam, there's so many. I don't want to leave people out. Obviously, all the great content creators in Cowboys Nation do a phenomenal job. So I want to ask you this. We're gonna change gears a little bit. And I don't know if you go much on Twitter or any of these things, but the hot topic today, for some reason, is the Dallas Cowboys. Are they better off losing to Washington, get the 5th seed? Because some people are afraid of the Rams, or afraid of Seattle, or afraid of the 7th seed. Maybe the Packers will be there. I can't prescribe to that at all, because if you get opportunity to be the 2nd seed, you guarantee yourself 2 home games. The team has won 15 straight at home. They beat Seattle. They beat the Rams. They beat the Lions at home. They beat the Eagles at home. They obviously play better at home than they do on the road. It's just been proven. I mean, we can't argue that. And I've defended their road games because I've said, look at their road schedule was brutal. They've lost to double-digit, win teams on the road, but they haven't played well. They got blown out against the 49ers. They got blown out against the Bills. You got beat by Arizona convincingly, unfortunately. And then obviously the Eagle game they should have won. The Miami game was just a good game back and forth. I'm not going to cry about that one. But how could you prescribe to that? Is that something that you could agree with or no?
No. First of all, kudos to you, Frank, for coming all the way from Germany. Die hard, baby. Die hard. Gina, I see you. It was kind of close at the end. I see you, Gina. But listen, that game, prescribing that method of losing against Washington so we can line up somebody else, be careful what you ask for. Go out there to win. The Cowboys, as it is, when they go to play, I don't care who it is, who they go to play. First, we bite our fingernails before the game starts because we don't know which team is going to show up. They need to be in the mindset of winning, not beating, not letting Washington get by so we can get this seed, because that other team may be so hungry that it blows our mind and ends up beating us, and your strategy was wrong. Go play to win. What did Herman say?
You play to win the game.
He said you play to win the game. I don't prescribe to that. And as far as the Rams are concerned, let me tell you something. Everybody got the Rams at a good time, because the Rams, if there's one team in the NFC that I'm concerned about upsetting people, it's the Rams. The Rams are finally playing like their Super Bowl year. They are on fire, and they
beat the Giants 26-25.
Listen,
come on, man.
The Rams have me slightly nervous because
No, they're
the
good.
Rams are playing good ball now. They have gotten their mojo back. They are hungry, and they're lurking. They are lurking. They are the black horse and black sheep right now, waiting for somebody to come up on them and think that they're just going to roll over them. Be careful, the Rams. I don't want to see the Rams in the first round. I really hope we don't. And I hope the Lions get a chance to get them and somebody else take them out. But the Rams of all, the 49ers are the 49ers.
Yeah.
The Rams is the only team right now in the NFC that I'm really concerned about in the playoffs.
So I'll play devil's advocate. I'm giving you the option. If you're the 2 seed, you got to play the Rams. If you're the 5 seed, you're going to play the Bucks. But you're going to be on the road pretty much all the playoffs. So what are you taking?
Well, if we got the 2 seed, we get a home game.
No, you got the Rams at home. I'm saying you got the Rams at home or the Bucks on the road. I'm just trying to. That's the argument that's being made is, are you better off? Are you better off strategic? I'm not for that. Because you don't know what's going to happen,
right?
And you can end up playing New Orleans. New Orleans could be the 7th seed. The Packers could be the 7th seed. The Seattle Seahawks could be the 7th. You have all these options. I'm going to go with what I know, and what I know is Dallas has won 15 in a row at home. If they can't beat the 7th seed at home in the playoffs, they don't deserve to be there.
And I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. I said earlier, you play to win the game. You don't play to line up. I want to play this person, so let's lose this game, tank this game. No, once that goes in everybody's mindset, then all of a sudden everybody's not on the same page. I want everybody to be thinking we're going to win. I don't care who we play. And you're right. If you can't beat the 7th seed and you're at home, well, you don't deserve to be there, because we want to play the best so we can be the best. So whoever we play, I don't care how it lines up. Whoever we play, I want us to win.
Yeah,
period.
I know there was, Broadus. I know, I think he was. I know Tuck was. There was a lot of guys, and I respect him. And everyone has opinion. That's the beauty of being fans. Is we all have these thoughts, and I know we overanalyze, and you can kill yourself analyze. The only thing I know for a fact, number one, we win the division. You win the division, you get the 2 seed. Let's say the Rams. If there's a team that I would put up against the 49ers. The Rams, Seattle, they're familiar division rivals.
Yes.
maybe one of them take them out, and next thing you know, Dallas is sitting at home in the NFC Championship. If you're the 5th seed, that's not going to happen. You're not going to you ain't going to get that kind of luck where the top 4 teams are going to go. So I think you win for the best possible seed to put you in the best position to win. And, you got to win those games. I don't know. That's just me. But it makes for fun talk.
Yeah, and I really hope the Cowboys aren't considering that.
They're not. They're not going to. It's just us fans.
I want them.
Fans kind of. You start playing with it's just like with the schedule and with everything else. Right. You start kind of tweaking things around. But the Cowboys, they have got to go in. They've got to go in with a mindset with Washington. Is they got to put it on them quickly.
Yes.
You can't give them any life.
Yes.
You got to jump on them fast.
Yes.
And they'll fold because they're already checked out. Yeah. But if they have an opportunity, Washington, the fans still hate us. Now, the Commanders, I don't know, they haven't been the same since they're not the Redskins anymore. But the fans in Washington, they don't like the Cowboys, and they would love nothing more than to beat us and knock us out of the division, just like the Giants. The Giants would love nothing more than to beat the Eagles at home and knock them even, just ensure that they can't win a division. So the Washington, I was going to say Redskins, Washington ain't going to roll over. No. But I think if we jump on them early, I think they'll kind of say, you know what, no sense in getting hurt. I'm just going to kind of go through emotions and just call it a day.
And they're playing at home, so they want to show up for that last game at home because they know the fans are looking for them to beat Dallas. I don't care if they were 1-16. They're looking for them to beat Dallas. And they're playing for their jobs. A lot of them are playing for their jobs because they know they're being evaluated in these last couple of games. That last game at home is going to be a big evaluation for each and every player. Now, if it gets out of hand, like you and I would love it to get out of hand and the Cowboys are winning, then you're right. I can see some of the players laying back, look, this is a business decision. I'm not going to kill myself. And then as far as Dallas, if it gets out of hand and we got this game comfortably, maybe we can rest some of our players and not take that chance of somebody getting hurt late in the game doing something, and next thing you know, it hurts us in the playoffs. But the Commanders are not going to lay down at all because they're at home, they're playing for the job, and they know the fans want to go out on top beating the Dallas Cowboys. So right off the bat, I think the first half is going to be back and forth because they played some good games this year.
No, they're scrappy.
They played some good games this year and taking them down to the fourth quarter. This last game, I'm just hoping that we go out there and ice it. And we got a lot of young players, and I just want their mindset. That's why, as a fan, I know you feel this way sometimes. Wish we could be in that locker room just for 5 minutes and say, look, guys, I know you professionals, but don't take this team for granted. Under no circumstance, don't take this team for granted at all. And don't think I'm not going to play 100% because Michael's going to play 100%. Michael might be thinking I'm going to play 75 because Tank's going to play 100%. Just go out there and get the job done and get it over with.
Yeah. No, and absolutely. And I've some people tell me I need to go in the locker room to get these guys motivated.
You
probably could do the same. I've seen your work. but to Ultra's point, you and I talked about this before we went on air. There's talk that it could. Rivera's not coming back. There's talk that the owner could basically go up to Rivera and say, "Hey, man, we're securing a pretty good draft pick. We don't want to win. I need you to make sure that you don't put us in any position to win. And if Rivera doesn't want to do it, you fire him today or tomorrow, and you just go in with an interim and just kind of just go through the motions and make sure you don't win." You hate to say that, but if I'm a fan of what do you got to lose? And you might be able to get a generational quarterback. It's a good quarterback draft class, so maybe you get a guy there. So there's always that weird thing, but people are competitors. Mm-hmm. And I always go back. I wrestled in high school, so I always have to go back to the wrestling story. And there was times where I knew I was wrestling a 2-time state champion. There was no way in hell I was going to win, but damn it, I tried. You know what I mean? There's still pride in you. There's still, you don't want to be embarrassed in front of your friends and family at school. Now, sometimes I was. It was not my choice. Right. The guy was good, but that's where I say these guys are still competitors. Yeah. They're not going to just say, "Hey, I'm going to roll over." So it's very important that they jump out and do it. And we're going to jump on again, but I just want to quickly, because I always forget, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe, like, share. Just a quick quick notes is I announced it. Tony the Thrill Hill is going to be coming in the cave. It's going to be January 25th. Hopefully, it's going to be right in time for Cowboys maybe to be in the championship game. There'd be nothing sweeter than that. But Tony Thrill Hill, probably one of the most underrated players in Cowboys history. I mean, he retired as their all-time leading receiver. He led the team in receiving 9 straight years. That's with Drew Pearson there. He just wore 80, not 88. He might be looked at a lot different, but one of my favorites, and Greg, I know you talked about it, one of your favorites too, watching with the Cowboys. So he's going to be in. I'm also working on, I don't want to jinx this, so I'm not going to say the names until they lock it in. Tony Hill locked in. I'm working on a 2-time Super Bowl champion safety, team of the 90s. You guys can figure that one out. I'm working on a safety 2-time Super Bowl champion, not 3, 2. So you can figure it out if you know your Cowboys history. And then I'm also working on a Super Bowl 30. Wasn't it Super Bowl 30, Greg? Champion for the Dallas Cowboys coming into the cave. So we've got some interviews now that the season's winding down. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, what the hell are you waiting for? You better subscribe. And if you missed any of our interviews, go back and learn your history of the Cowboys, because we've had them from Mr. Cowboy Bob Lilly. We've had the defender of the star, George Teague. I mean, we've had Moose Johnston. We've had Doug Cosby, one of again, another great tight end in Cowboys history that doesn't get enough love. But good guess there. I'll play it because you said it, I didn't. But excellent guess. But yeah, so that's kind of what we got going on. So just because the season, I can't believe the season's winding down, but we got a lot of games left. So I'm not don't get rid of me yet. Yeah. But we go all year round, and we fill the off season up with a lot of interviews and a lot of opportunity. And I know, Greg, I'm working on the guy who led the Canes to their first national champion. I know you're gonna have to join me on that one, because we got to get some love in there. But and he played with the Cowboys, so it'll be good. But yeah. So lastly, a couple topics that around the world of sports, not necessarily with the Cowboys, but we'll jump back to the Cowboys after this. But did you watch the games last night?
Oh yeah, and first of all, Tony Hill would be a great birthday present, because my birthday is on the 27th of January. So that would be great if I get a chance to speak to him. Yes, I did watch the game. And I spoke with you a while back on a different time. We were talking about Alabama. I told you I didn't like Alabama, and I didn't like how Alabama got in, and blah, blah, blah. And karma is a B. Yes, sir. And I told my brothers them, I picked Washington and Michigan in the championship, mainly because that's who I wanted to see in there. And that game against Alabama was poetic justice. And the NCAA, you need to look at that and remember what you did. As a Canes fan, you know how I feel about Florida State. But to be straight up, to be honest, Florida State got dogged in that. They should have been given the opportunity. And I know how you feel about Alabama.
I gotta disagree with you, because Florida State wasn't the same team.
But still, look at last year. They were talking about these other teams. They weren't the same team, and it was embarrassing. No, it wasn't. I'm like this. Whether the NCAA wants to call it embarrassing or not, these kids played by the rules. They earned it, and I would understand it, even though I would call it a scandal, if the NCAA had moved Florida State from number 4 maybe a couple of weeks before the last week and tried to justify it that way early enough so everybody would forget about it. But you wait till the last week, right after the game, and they won, and they're 13-0, and these kids are watching television, knowing they're going to be playing in the playoffs, and all of a sudden it's like, psych, I'm going to pull the rug from upon you. That's what I don't like about it. And knowing the history of the scandalous NCAA, that's what really gets me too. The money they make off the back of players for years. But then if I go buy one on my hamburger and they find out about it, oh, that's an NCAA violation. But you making all this money from these players, and now all of a sudden you pull this on them when they play by the rules. That's why I felt the way I felt about it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get it. I mean, I get I do get it. I think if Michigan played Florida State, oh God, I mean, I don't know what it would have been. I haven't watched a lot of Michigan games. I watched it, obviously the Ohio State game and this and that. They were, I mean, it says a lot that they were out. They were more physical than Bama. I mean, they were pushing them around the field a little bit.
Yeah.
It was pretty interesting. But Bama had a shot, and then Bama, I don't know what that last play was. I mean, I gotta think you gotta have a better play up your sleeve, maybe a run pass option, something where you just running up the middle, just and against their defense. I mean, that just wouldn't have been my play.
Right.
But it's going to be interesting. And then Washington, what a crazy game! Washington and Texas. And I thought Washington had it in hand, and then crazy things happened. And Texas they had their opportunity, and that would have been one of the craziest comebacks in the history of college football.
Yeah, and when I saw that, I said, Washington, why are you getting lazy on this last drive as though you think you got the game wrapped up? And then what really got me was their own player went down hurt. If that were me and I went down like that, look, I'm going to find a way to run off that field so that clock doesn't stop. When he fell, that was 47 seconds. They would only had 15.
Yeah.
And when they started moving, I said, I see it now. I see it now. And that player who got hurt, I can imagine him if they lost in the locker room thinking, I should have got up and ran off or something. And being an athlete, that some of his own players were probably sitting there saying, I should have got your ass up and ran off that field. Some kind of way. You can stop the clock. Because Washington, that last drive, up until that, they were playing that last drive like the game was in the bag. And I'm thinking you got the game won, but now all of a sudden you give it to them, and then they drive down there. I said, watch this. Watch this last play like the Alabama-Auburn game. Last play, watch him get this touchdown. They didn't put two people on that wide receiver who's this tall.
Yeah.
But that guy played his butt off to stop that last play, man. Oh, man, that was great.
No,
I love to see it.
It's going to set up for a great game. Now, I want to, since we're talking college, if you're talking college and who's winning, we got to get Uncle Cheech's opinion. We had some technical difficulties with Uncle Cheech. He couldn't get in on time. So let me cue him up and get him. Oh no, I lost Uncle Cheech's music because we were working on some other stuff. So Uncle Cheech just got to run in. Uncle Cheech, what are you doing?
What's up, Cheech?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Now we're doing good. So we want to get your opinion on college football because you picked the two teams and neither one of them won. So that's not good. But you were 2-2 on your picks. You hit the upset with the Bills Patriots, getting the Patriots in the points if my memory's right. The lock you missed, I wish it would have been last week's lock you missed, but unfortunately it was this week's lock you missed. So you're 2-2. You're still killing it. We're winding down. What's your thoughts on one? I want to get your thoughts on the college game since we're talking about it. You're an expert in college football. So what was your thoughts on the game, the two games?
Well, the Michigan game, Alabama, they were just pushing Alabama around.
Yeah.
I knew they were in trouble from the beginning. Washington game, I fell asleep.
Well, at least you're honest. Now, our man Ultra wanted to remind you that, Michigan is going to be your national champion. And he tried to tell you, and you picked against him. So,
well, I'm not going to pick against him now. I changed my mind.
Oh, what do I?
I'm going to take Michigan now.
You are taking Michigan.
-4.5.
-4.5. So what did you? I mean, and Greg, I want to get your opinions. Let's talk about Washington a minute. Greg, you start it, and Uncle Cheech, you jump in. But I mean, that quarterback, man, can he sling that ball?
Yes.
And
well, hell, he's been there for 6 years.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, what was your thoughts, Greg, on what's your thoughts on him as a quarterback?
Oh, he's great. He's the NFL is going to most definitely be drafting him. Probably, I would say as early as the late second round. I can see him going. But now you know how they do quarterbacks sometime, unless they.
Well, I got a question for you, Greg. You're a Miami Hurricane fan, right?
Okay.
You're Miami Hurricane.
Yes.
Fan.
Yes, sir.
I was giving this some thought today. Mario Cristobal's been with us now, going on his third year.
Yep.
Third year after he leaves, his old team is playing for the national championship. That kind of troubled me a little bit.
That's not he went to Oregon.
His old team is Oregon.
Oregon.
Oregon. I thought it was Washington.
Senile, Uncle Cheech.
Yeah, but they're playing good. Oregon's playing
But
good.
they're playing
I'm
good.
old and frail. I told you that.
They're playing better than Miami, if that's the point you're trying to make.
Yeah.
But anyhow, listen. I think Michigan's going to be much too much. I was telling somebody today, I'm getting the feeling like with Washington, they were underdog 5 times this year. They managed to win. I'm getting flashbacks from TCU last year.
Wow.
That's what I'm thinking.
Do you think it could be a Michigan blowout?
I don't think Michigan's got the offensive firepower to blow them out, but they could beat them pretty handily.
I see, and let me tell you something, Cheech. I see Washington. You see what Washington held their own against Texas. I see Washington taking this game deep into the fourth quarter with Michigan. Michigan might get up.
You beat Michigan last year too. Remember, Michigan was the top dog.
Yeah,
they win and then they get blown out by Georgia.
Yeah, I can see Washington winning this game. But now, as far as Penn as a quarterback, NFL, somebody's going to scoop him up. He is ready. Now,
for sure.
He's had a serious journey because he had so many injuries with Indiana. I mean, just back to back, and now he's healthy and he's playing his behind off. That is one serious NFL quarterback waiting to be drafted, and he wants to go out on top. Michigan does too, but I got a feeling Washington is going to pull that game out. I really do. I think Washington is going to win that game.
I don't know. I don't know.
In the fight. My team's not there, so I really don't care who wins. I'm not going to bet on the game. If somebody wants to bet, I wouldn't advise it. It could be close, but if you want to bet a couple dollars, your big money. As far as my picks this week in the NFL, they're in the game I would bet on. So I'm advising people that been following me, hold on to your money this week.
You just don't know.
No,
you don't know
who's not playing. Actually,
Baltimore.
Baltimore's an underdog.
What?
Yeah.
Because they don't think Lamar may not play.
They probably ain't going to play anybody. They know it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they got the division. Yeah.
And then you got teams that they have to win. Little unnecessary pressure.
Mm-hmm.
No,
like the Dolphins are going but the Dolphins are in. So
yeah,
I know they get a better spot, but they're still in, even if they lose.
Yeah, and Buffalo, I really think Buffalo is going to Buffalo.
That's what I want to ask you, Greg. I got to ask you, Greg, because you got your wife is a Dolphin fan, your brother's a Bills fan.
Yeah.
This game, I wanted to touch on this game with you. And Uncle Cheech, you're a South Florida guy, so I know you got some vested interest in Miami. This is going to be pretty damn interesting, this game, because, if Buffalo wins, they win the division. Am I right?
Yes,
right.
Yes, they win the division.
If Miami beats them, Buffalo could either be out of the playoffs or they can end up playing Miami again the following week in the first round of the playoffs, right?
Yeah, but see, Buffalo wants to win this game bad for a couple of reasons. Number one, they want division. Number two, who wants to play in Buffalo? Who wants to play in Buffalo in January? Buffalo they'll get a home game as the division lead. You think them Dolphins, now the Dolphins going to go up there. They played them good last year, even with the backup quarterback. But Buffalo wants that division big time. And they know they can seal their destiny in the playoffs by winning. So they're not going to go in there thinking about, well, if we don't win, blah, blah, blah. They want to win. But they also want people to come to Buffalo in January. And
so
a lot of people don't want to go there.
I agree with you 100% on that.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want
to play up there in that blizzard.
Yeah. So is it Miami that has to? Because someone said if Buffalo loses, they're eliminated. But I saw a scenario where these two could play in the playoffs the very next week.
Oh, I didn't see that one. I didn't see that.
Yeah, I don't know. I did see where they could play.
I don't follow as close as you guys do. Playoff I picked teams.
Yeah. No, I didn't see.
Make money,
I saw because playing back to back, that's happened a few times, but that would be. Yeah. That'd be a tall task for a team, to beat them, and then you're going to play them and beat them again. Yeah. Ultra actually, he every now and then he throws a lot of hate, but he actually brings up a decent point, and this would be really interesting. You could have the Harbaugh 1 win in the Super Bowl, 1 win in the national title. That's
I
pretty.
thought about that.
That's pretty damn. That's crazy if that happened.
I thought about that this weekend.
He's going to leave Michigan after this.
That's what it seems.
I agree with you, Cheech. I think he will. I think he will.
I heard through the grapevine.
I think he will. I'll tell you, Buffalo is I wouldn't be surprised if Miami rests a few players like Hill, because Tariq is hurt.
Well, they can't rest anyone because they're beaten up. They don't have Waddle's not playing. Ramsey, I think, was
Mostert came back.
Who's the other defensive back got hurt?
Howard
got hurt.
It was either Howard or Ramsey got hurt.
Safety got hurt. What's his name?
Chubb is out. I mean, they're beat up.
They're all pro safety back there. Safety.
And Buffalo's going to win.
The running back, is he coming back?
Mostert. I think Mostert came back this week, but he was coming right off an injury, so he might be playing hurt.
Right, and might be playing again. Yeah, Howard. That's his name.
Yeah, and Tariq is hurt. You could really see it in this game they just played.
You're playing a crippled team.
Yes,
basically.
yes.
No, so Miami's got to. I mean, they've got to win it. If they don't win this, then they're going on the road. It's the same thing you talk about Dallas. Is Miami's a better team at home? They've only lost one, which most teams are. I mean, it is. That's why I tell people with the playoffs, you got to want to win your division. You got to want to get that high seed. It is hard to win on the road, and in the playoffs. Obviously it's been done, but it's something you don't want to do.
Especially in the snow.
Especially in the snow. Because Buffalo is brutal to go up there and play in January with the fans and the team motivated too. And Miami coming from the sunshine and the oranges.
No, they want no part of that. So Cheech, is there any other words of wisdom? You're taking Michigan. You're taking Michigan laying the points. You're going to pick
my other picks. I got Houston +1. I told you don't bet any of these games.
Okay, this is just for fun.
If you want to bet $5, something to watch the game by, I wouldn't bet them because you don't know what the teams are going to do. Houston, they need to win. Indy needs to win. They're playing each other. I like the rookie quarterback. I like their coach. I'm going to take Houston +1 at Indy. My next game, Jacksonville at Tennessee, is what's his name back? The guy with the long hair.
Oh, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should be. He should be.
Okay, I'm going to take Jacksonville -5 at Tennessee. They need to win too.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
My upset's going to be Philly at the Giants.
I'm what I see.
The Giants +5. The Giants played. They're the ones that cost me my lock last week. They played the last 2 weeks. They haven't won, but they played close.
They played the Rams close.
Yeah.
They kept the games close.
And Philly, they played Philly close too.
They played Philly. They should have beat Philly.
They should have beat Philly.
I'll take that as my upset. My lock's going to be Tampa Bay at Carolina. Carolina, they're ready to hang the owner.
He's throwing drinks on people.
Drinks, poor fella can't handle it.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did, didn't he?
$300,000 fine.
He threw it at him. Yeah,
that's chump change to him. But I'm going to take Tampa Bay -5 at Carolina. Tampa Bay needs to win too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of teams that need to win, but I wouldn't bet any money on any of these games. Keep your money in your pocket.
Yeah. No, it is a weird. I can't believe football season is over. Uncle Cheech, we got you for the playoffs. I don't know if I'm going to allow you to pick the Cowboys in the playoffs. I don't know because I would never be able to live with myself if something bad were to happen.
Come on.
And you're responsible for it. That's just the way I am. I can't help it. I'm thinking of you, Cheech. I don't want people trying to put a hit out on you.
What if I pick them to lose?
That's what I'm saying. I don't want people putting anything on you. If it causes any bad mojo. We got the curses over Jimmy Johnson in the ring. It was beautiful, beautiful ceremony. There's peace and love amongst Cowboys community. I mean, everything is great. The only bad thing is I went to the game with my brother and he almost got in a skirmish out of the parking lot and thankfully, cooler heads, and otherwise you see me on TV fighting with Cowboys people. That wouldn't look any good.
It wouldn't look good at all.
I
what Edgar
But
said.
it goes by too quick. You know,
What'd you say?
I said it goes by too quick.
Yeah,
the
it does. I see what
What'd you
Edgar
say?
says.
What'd you say, Greg?
Edgar says if Buffalo loses, Buffalo can't lose or they're eliminated. I hadn't seen. I don't know if that's the.
I didn't see that either because I had Miami beating them, and I had a couple other scenarios where they had it, but I don't know. I don't know.
Buffalo has mounted up some losses.
Well,
no,
said,
Regina.
He said if they lose, they're eliminated. If Jacksonville and Pittsburgh win.
Okay, that's what it is.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
Regina.
So, I mean, there's
I'm
some
not
scenarios
going with
that it
Kelly.
can happen.
I'm taking Buffalo.
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, they can bitch all they want about Dak Prescott. He's played brilliantly this year so far.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah. In spite of not having
But
a
now,
beast of a running
when
back.
the playoffs come,
Here's the deal. This is just the way it is, and it's been said a million times. I don't got to beat a dead horse. The playoffs are what matter for the Cowboys.
Yes.
I mean, they've had success. You're talking 3 straight years, 12-5. You can't ask for anything better. But you've got to capitalize on the opportunities because the windows change, the teams change, and you've got a team now. And the NFC is, I mean, I named it. They beat the Lions. They beat Seattle. They beat Philly. They beat the Rams. The only team they didn't beat is they didn't beat the Niners, and they never played the South team, but I got to think they'd beat the South. So the Niners are the one Achilles heel for them that they got to get over, and you're just going to have to do it. Now, it's reminiscent. We can, like I said, you go back in time. You think Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Honor, and we go back to 92, and the Cowboys they were the team that couldn't beat the 49ers,
I know
right?
where you going.
And had to go to Candlestick. Well, now we got to go to Levi or whatever it is. It can happen, and that's what this team they need to produce in the playoffs. Dak needs to produce in the playoffs. Otherwise, it's Tony Romo, it's Danny White, it's whatever names you want to throw in there.
It's the end that counts.
Championships.
Yeah,
the end that counts. I don't care who you beat early in the season. It's the end that counts. If you get there, you got to come through.
Yeah,
not how you start, is how you finish.
No,
and I hope, and I want us to get through one game at a time, because I really feel we get to the NFC Championship, 3rd time's the charm.
Yeah.
We get to the NFC Championship, I really feel we going. But I want us to get one game at a time. Don't look ahead. Don't think about who you might have to play later. Play today. Get through that one.
You call up Harbaugh and see what the hell he did to the 49ers. That's what they need to do because they beat the hell out.
Yeah, study that tape. That tape.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's you got to disrupt Purdy. I mean, you got McCaffrey with a calf injury. I mean, they're key injuries away. They don't have. Like, if they lose McCaffrey, God forbid, you don't want to see that happen.
Right.
Hey, in the playoffs, I don't give a shit. If it helps my team win, I don't care. Philly didn't apologize for it, so I'm not going to apologize for it. So if he doesn't play, they're a totally different team. If Debo doesn't play, they're a totally different team. They rely heavily on their guys to where I don't know. I mean, CD could probably be that one, but I think if we didn't have Pollard, you probably survive. If you didn't have this guy, you could probably survive. But that's the thing with the 49ers. But it's going to be tough. I mean, they're a good team. I mean, I wish I could hate on them because they hate on me so much, but they've beaten us. I can't really talk much smack. We just got to prove it and beat them when it counts.
You got to beat them on the field.
So.
How do you like the Dudsman he brought me?
Oh, I love that. Excellent.
Yeah, they got to get to Purdy. Because Purdy, I see Purdy as a machine. It's like everybody else is playing, but they're like, okay, we're gonna take AI and put AI right here, and AI already knows play this, boom, dun, dun, boom, dum, dum, boom. But you mess up that technology and that AI, and everything goes crazy. That's how I see Purdy. Purdy's that perfect robot. And all he's going to do, Purdy, just get it here. Do it here. Hand it here. Purdy's not going to do all this running around like Dak and everybody else to get out of it. And he's always been able to sit back there and cook breakfast, almost eat lunch, and throw the ball. That's what's getting them through it. But the Ravens didn't give him that opportunity. And if he can do that to Purdy, it'll disrupt the entire machine.
Yeah. No, but more importantly, like to Regina's point, I mean, got to beat Washington one step at a time, get that 2nd seed. and then you just got to go on a winning streak. And you'd have the opportunity at minimum 2 home games. At minimum 2 home games.
Yeah.
And you never know. I mean, look back at the Giants, the road team that they did. I mean, McCarthy, it was talked about McCarthy. He went in as a 6th seed. They didn't have a 7th seed, and he went on the road. Yep. So you can't ever take any team lightly. No. And that's why I say is you can't overthink seeding and where do we go. And you just got to put yourself in the best position and let the best team win.
And the playoffs are a whole different dynamic. You go in the playoffs, all bets are off. Because the playoffs, the last seed will come in there and play like their life depends on it. And if you got that arrogance, thinking, well, we can knock them off. And I always say this, these players who play in the NFL have been watching the NFL, college football, playing college football, been watching it as long as we have. And we know when we see players and we're like, man, they took this game for granted. These guys out there not playing. They should know that. I know the coaches, they don't like in high school, maybe college, the pregame speech from the coach is a little bit more intense, like with something we would want to do in the locker room. In the pros, it's like, let's go and get them, do your work. And it's not as, I want them to get in their head and tell them there's not one play you could take for granted in the playoffs because every play may be the last play. It might be the play that loses the game or sets them up for a win. So they got to go in there hungry.
No, got to be hungry, like Eugene. And just a note, and I'll let you go, Cheech. I talked to Eugene, had some personal health issues. That's why we hadn't seen him. Hopefully, he's going to be back on. Maybe be back on tomorrow. He sounds really good. So definitely need to get Eugene back in the cave. So
that's my man there.
Yeah, Uncle Cheech, I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging with us for a little.
Don't forget 1-800-GAMBLER if you can't handle it.
All right, Cheech.
Especially if you're gambling on this weekend's game. So,
don't do it.
All right, we'll see you, Uncle Cheech. Take care.
All right.
Uncle Cheech is funny.
Yeah,
diehard Miami Hurricane fan. Let me tell you, it's
cool.
Been to a lot of games with him, and it was tough. So, hey, we appreciate everyone for stopping in. We're going to start wrapping this up. But again, if you guys haven't tuned in and you haven't subscribed, this is your first time, definitely hit that subscribe, hit the alert. We got a live show tomorrow night. Kelly K9 and I, normal time. We're going to be breaking down, really not breaking down, but previewing the Washington game, getting ready for the playoffs. It's going to be a good time. But again, programming note, we got Tony Thrill Hill, Dallas Cowboy legend, is going to be in the house January 25th in the cave. So 8 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central it might be. I can't remember it. I think it's Central. He's going to be in the cave. We're going to have a good time with him. And then we're working on some other interviews. But Cowboys Nation, I appreciate it. We've got our 3,000 subscriber giveaway. It's obviously he was in the cave for an interview. We're talking about Mr. Cowboy himself, Bob Lilly. The Funko Pops are very popular, and he signed a Tom Landry one. Put all the inscriptions, Super Bowl champion, all the All-Pros, the Pro Bowls, Mr. Cowboy, Hall of Fame. I mean, it's loaded up. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece. It would look good in any cave. I know it looked damn good in Greg's cave, but definitely we're getting closer. We picked up 150 subscribers in the last week and a half. So awesome. We're definitely been growing, and obviously it's a lot of fun hanging with Cowboys Nation. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe. If you're still hanging with us, hit the like. It doesn't cost you a cent to do it, but it really, in a weird way, it helps us with the algorithms and everything else. So we appreciate it. And more importantly, Greg, it's always good to have you part of the family and on these shows. You bring so much knowledge, energy, positivity, all that kind of good stuff rolled into one. So I just want to obviously thank you for popping in the cave as well and hanging with me.
The pleasure is mine, Mike, and I really appreciate you bringing me on. I really do. From one diehard Cowboy and Hurricane fan to another. My brother from another mother.
We need to get the Canes figured out. Like I said, we're going to do a Canes show. You and I, we may start a Canes show. We got to figure this thing out. The other thing I was going to say, I don't know if you think this is cool, Greg. You tell me. I get all these towels because all the games.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
And if you want any towels, Greg, all you got to do is tell me.
I want one because, listen, about a month ago, I went on Facebook on the Cowboys groups, and I said, because I got a white one, but it's an old one, and it's faded. I said, does anybody know how I can get a white Cowboys towel because I went on eBay everywhere else. I couldn't
Oh,
find it.
don't ever do that.
Yeah, but I didn't know. I just and
Text me
nobody
your
responded.
address. Text me your address, and you'll get some in the mail.
I definitely gonna text you that.
But
Right
what
after.
I did, I have some other ones, but I get all the extras. So for this season, every game I went to, this is an older one, but what I do on my towels when I go to the game, I put the date, I put the score, who we beat. That's kind of my memory thing. So I have a towel from the whole season, one with the score, with the who we played. So I might do a giveaway for those at the end of the year. I've got so many towels, I don't know what to do with them all. I use them to clean my car and all that kind of stuff because they are nice, soft towels. But I got a ton of them for you, Greg. Greg, I'll load you up with them.
Yes. I'm gonna have to frame one and put the other ones around in the room.
Well, I will find the cleanest ones and send them to you. But just text me your address and I'll get it out tomorrow. But
I will.
So we might be doing stuff like that, but we got a lot of great things going on with the channel. So definitely appreciate all the support. More importantly, Greg, thank you so much for hanging. Let everyone know where they can find you because I forgot again. But you can
find me at Twitter when I'm on it. It's at Greg Gerard, Gerard. At TikTok, Gregory Gerard 146. You will find me there, and you'll see my videos on Gregory Gerard 146. And then also at Facebook, it's just Gregory Gerard, and you'll see it because you'll see my profile with all the Cowboys chains and everything. So find me there.
He does great videos. And Regina wants to know what about her?
Oh, that's our best friends right there. She talking about Nelly. Regina, I told you I can't go with Nelly this weekend with Miami. I got to go with Jim in Buffalo.
Joe, one show earlier than 8 p.m. once a week. I will work on that for you, Frank. You know I'll work on that. I love Frank. I mean, just a great guy. I got a hookup in Germany. Between him and Philip, I've met two great people from Germany and met people from England and Scotland, all sorts of Cowboys Nation. It's world's team. It's the best. So
that's right.
I love it. Hopefully we get to get out to AT&T soon to enjoy some playoff football. But first things first, handle the Washington Commanders. I always want to say Redskins. Not let them off the hook. Do not give the Eagles any life because I know Cowboys Nation, Kelly in particular, he really is letting them have it, and we can't have any mistakes. So we got to make sure we win that division. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And, of course, this one's always requested, one of my favorite post-game speeches for a particular team we all love.
Haters, I just want to tell you, I promise you this above all else. I am now going to be more obnoxious, more overbearing, and I'm going to make you all learn to love it because you'll have no choice. You understand that, Eagles fans? You guys are through. You're finished. You're washed up. Now, can you